welcome back to A Chef in Residency. I'm Chef Michelle Hauser, MD, and I'm here today to make a video to show you how to chop up and do some knife skills with apples to accompany a recipe that will be up on the website. The recipe is called Fall Quinoa Apple Salad with Lemon Vinaigrette, and the website is chefinresidency.com. So, first thing that we're going to do is I'm just going to show you how I peel an apple, which seems simple, but actually don't use a peeler because it seems really awkward and it's hard to deal with. You can do that, that's fine. But if you do have a really sharp paring knife, then you can also do it this way if you're really careful, which is, and I've kind of already started on this one, but show you how it goes. Kind of grip the apple, make sure you have a really good handle on it. Have your knife in your hand like this, and you have a good handle on that. Use this thumb to guide the knife blade as you cut, and you can cut like that, make slices down the apple like that. You can make quicker work of it than you can with a peeler. Alternatively, you can do a couple of other things. So kind of show you how to peel it and how to core it at the same time. So I just take my chef's knife and cut straight down through the top of the apple, keeping my fingers out of the way, like that. And then I'll just cut in fourth again. So there's the stem end, and I'll just cut straight down through that again. Do the same thing on this side. And you have 4 equal pieces. So now what you can do is you can core it and peel it pretty quickly with your paring knife. So I just take my paring knife and kind of cut the end there, cut down toward the middle, then I stop, because otherwise you risk cutting yourself. I go to the opposite side and I do the same thing, cut down to the middle until you run into the last cut that you made, and then the middle core just pops out, and then you've cored a quarter of your apple. If you want to finish peeling it, you can flip it over and kind of peel that side. And then just finish coring the other parts of the apple here. For the recipe though, I actually do leave the peel on, and that's why I'm not being that careful to take the rest of the peel off. Because there's actually a lot of nutrition in the peel, and a lot of the really beneficial compounds that they found apples to have actually sit right within and under the peel. So you actually don't want to get rid of it unless for some reason you really hate the taste, or you're worried about the chemicals sprayed on them, since apples are one of the more highly sprayed fruits with pesticides. So, I like getting a low spray or an organic apple if I'm getting apples. These ones are actually from my yard, so I know there's nothing on them. Now that we've cored the apple, what I do in the recipe is I cut that quarter in half again, like that. So I have the apple in eighths, and then I just flip it over, tuck my fingers under just like I have in the other knife skills video about the red peppers, and then I use that knuckle to slide my knife up and down and just make some thin slices. Then you just kind of move your fingers back as you go, and you make quick work of the apple. So this is kind of the type of pieces of apple I put in the recipe. So if you're going to do other things with apples, say you want to make some healthy baked apples or something like that, and you don't have one of those fancy coring tools, then what I do is similar to the other apples. I just cut them in half, from the stem end down. And then what you can do, this is a little trickier than cutting it in quarters, is just to try and go at an angle and just cut partway through the apple, then pull your knife out, switch sides, kind of do the same thing. You can also put it down on the cutting board if you don't want to be cutting toward yourself, which is probably a good idea. And then once your cuts align, let's see, sometimes it takes a couple of tries here. You can kind of pop out that center piece. There we go. And when you do that on both sides, I won't show you both sides right now, but then what you can do is you can kind of push the apple halves back together and imagine the other half is cut. And then you can just take like a baking dish like this and set it right in there. And then it will stay together enough that if you want to fill it, with raisins or, cinnamon sugar or something like that, then you can without having to have the special tool to core the apples. A couple other things that you might want to be able to do with the apples are just to be able to dice them up. So we'll go back to our little pieces that we quartered here. So what I tend to do is I just I don't ever try and make perfect dice with apples. You can, but you end up throwing a lot of it away. And like we said in the last video, we're not into throwing things away. So just cut some slices, and then you can turn the slices on their side. Kind of cut those slices in half. Then you're going to get as close to dicing them as you can, and kind of put them all into a pile, maybe split them up if you feel like you can't dice them all together because there's too many, and then just cut your little squares that way. That's how you would dice an apple. And I think those are the main cuts I do with apples. Obviously there's plenty more out there, but I think that's a good start. I hope this video has been helpful, and please check out the website again, www.chefinresidency.com, for more helpful tips on health and cooking.